Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Self-Love with NiaZamar. This week, I wanted to talk to y'all about strategies for this holiday season coming up. You know, whatever it is that you celebrate, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, whatever holiday that's coming up right now that you celebrate is important to you and you'll be around family, friends, or having work parties, anything like that, the holiday season. I just wanted to give a few tips that have worked for me and that may work for you in terms of how you can prepare yourself to take care of yourself in these situations. And for me, this came up because I just had Canadian Thanksgiving recently, and I was like in it and thinking like, damn son, I'm like, I have to do a lot of self-care to get through this, you know? And for myself personally, I had a whole conversation with my mother beforehand, talking to her about my current partner, and my current partner is a woman, and having that conversation. I come from a very Jamaican Christian household, and it's definitely taboo in terms of within my family dynamic. I don't think it's the same for everybody, but within my own, it's very taboo. So I was like, let me just have this conversation. And as I was going through these experiences, I was just thinking there must be other folks, you know, out there like myself who are experiencing this. And I thought, why not bring it to y'all for our Sunday self-love so we can have some of this conversation about how other folks, and please share down below, what are the different ways that you cope within your own family in terms of holiday season or work parties? Like, how are you coping through the holiday season in general and all the different folks that you have to see and dealing with all of that? So I want to share with you my 3-step system, pretty much, of how I've coped with it. And the first step is self-care. And you might be like, okay, well, what does that mean? Self-care to me is anything that you can do on your own that doesn't necessarily include anybody else, but will still allow for you to feel taken care of in those situations. So when I say self-care, I'm thinking when you're at these gatherings, whether it's holiday parties for work or it's dinner with family, whatever it is, having breathing exercises. And I know that it might seem like kind of corny, like, okay, how am I gonna breathe through all of this? But I find breathing is such a beautiful way to help ground, to help calm yourself. I take a few breaths in and out, and suddenly the world slows down. I feel a little bit more chill, and I do this all the time. It's something that no one has to necessarily know you're doing. You can just do it on your own, you know, just figuring out how to find your breath. That's what they do in yoga, like talk about how to find your breath. But just figuring out how to find your breath in any given moment. So you could be, you know, carrying that plate of food from the kitchen, the dining table, and you need to take a moment to find your breath because someone said something or something came up, and you're more comfortable, whatever it is. But just having that in your back pocket, knowing that you can at any point that you feel uncomfortable, refer back to your breath as a way to give you that peace and that comfort that you're looking for. And another thing I would definitely suggest in terms of your self-care is choose your battles in advance. So when I say choose your battles, I mean you can't necessarily address everything that comes up. You know, someone is going to say something and you're going to be like, wow, that was trifling. And trust and believe it's happened to me. Like at my current holiday Thanksgiving dinner, I don't really believe in Thanksgiving, so I'm trying to like figure out how to phrase this, but my family dinner with my family, currently what happened for me is someone brought up something about Jaden and Willow, and basically talking about like how they feel bad for Jada and her kids, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And I'm like, I don't agree, but I don't have it in me today to have this argument. I'm not going to step up to the plate for this one. So it's important. There are certain things for myself where I'm like, I will say something about this thing right here. So picking and choosing where you want to conserve your energy is so important in the self-care. To know when it's just like, not today, say, and I ain't doing it. I want to be like, okay, I'm ready for this. Like, let's exchange perspectives, you know? And it's not always worth it. So just, I would definitely say part of the self-care is your breathing, knowing when to choose your battles, and also having a buddy, So when I say having a buddy system, it's kind of like that friend or your partner or somebody you can call at any point. Before the dinner, during it, after it, somebody who is expecting your phone call and knows that you're going to call them or text them, and that's what works best. And you can just literally say like, hey, this thing happened, or I'm at this thing, I ain't feeling it. Whatever it is that you need to say to really express some of the stuff and get it off your chest so you're not carrying it. And also, don't be afraid to step out of a room, to excuse yourself from a situation, a conversation, from an uncomfortable moment, whatever it is. Excuse me. And you take your ass to the bathroom, the next room, wherever you need to go to get that moment of peace for yourself, to get that reprieve from all of what's going on, and to text that person or call that person to have a check-in. The first thing is self-care. And within self-care, it's your breathing, it's having a buddy system, it's being intentional about your conversations, and if you need to, excuse yourself from the room and take a moment just to take care of you. And that is part of self-care in any situation, but getting through the holidays particularly, you want to just remind yourself that you have all the rights to do that, and that's completely okay. And my second thing is having boundaries. It's so important to set boundaries. Co-workers, family, biological or chosen, you need to have boundaries in life, in-laws, whoever it is that you're going to be seeing this holiday season that tends to push those boundaries. It's important for you to have them. And you might be like, well, I'm 32 and it's been like this for all these years, it's never going to change. But like, why would it change? You have to teach people how to treat you, and they're not going to change just like that. You have to have a practice and a habit of continuously teaching them over a period of time, and they're going to get it over time. When you're like, I'm not having this, they'll start to pick up on that. So for me in my life, what that looks like is, going back to what I originally said, is having those conversations in advance. So my boundary was, I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm going to be myself, So having that conversation with my own mother, what that looked like is, I was like, am I still invited to family dinner? Are we still doing that? And thankfully I was still invited, but having a boundary means that I would have had to be open to the fact that she could have said to me, I don't want you and your lifestyle in my home, so you can't come. And that wasn't the case, but that could have very well been the case. And I had to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepare for that to be the answer before I even had the conversation and set any boundaries around how I wanted to show up in this space, So I would definitely say it's important to have boundaries, but it's also important to prepare yourself for what might happen. But it is important to let people know what your boundaries are in advance. Not only in the moment expecting them to know, but also in advance letting them know what are some of your triggers, what are some of the things that don't feel good to you. And I know not every safe space is safe for you to really have those conversations, but if there is space for that, I do encourage you to have those conversations in advance. And that brings me to my third point. Set your own terms. It's totally okay to be like, I can't make it. I have had many family dinners, not necessarily with my immediate family, but I've had extended family dinners where I was like, do I really want it? Not today. So I couldn't make it, and I politely declined. And it's important for you to really, if you're a person who doesn't live at home, for you to really start to set some of your own terms and conditions on how you want to be loved and how you want to show up in spaces, and let people know what that is. And also decline when you know that that's not what you're going to be receiving in that space. And for folks who do live at home, start to get creative, So maybe let folks know, I'm going to attend, but I need to be in bed by whatever time. You don't even need to have to go to sleep. Just knowing that you're going to step away and go to bed or go to your room or whatever gives you a time frame of when the event will end for you. Like, creating those kind of different types of boundaries still works, but setting those terms to me looks like saying, I only have so much energy, I can only do so many things, so I will go to this holiday party, I will go to this family dinner, but I'm gonna take some time to myself outside of all of this. I'm only gonna buy one gift, I'm only gonna buy gifts for children under this age. Like, setting those types of terms and conditions for yourself is a way to ensure that you're not overextending yourself. And I wouldn't say, like, I don't personally feel like the answer is to be like, I'm not coming, I'm not going to anything, I'm not buying nothing for nobody. I don't know if that's the way to go about it. For my own life, when I didn't show up for things, sometimes I felt like I really missed out on an opportunity to connect with my family, and I value that. So I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. But I would definitely suggest to decide for yourself what spaces you want to enter, what feels good for you, how much you want to do and how much you don't want to do, and find that healthy middle, that healthy balance for yourself during the holidays, so that you're getting the self-care, me time, but so that you're also able to and allowing yourself to spend time with some of the folks who love you and who you also love. So just to recap some of that, I would suggest that through the holiday season, whether it's work parties, family, biological, or chosen, that you are, one, having a self-care plan that may include a buddy, that may include excusing yourself or breathing exercises, that you are, two, setting boundaries. So setting boundaries in advance with folks so they know some of your triggers and some of the things that are not okay for you to be having conversations about. And then number three, setting some terms and conditions. So setting just what will you attend, what will you not attend, what feels good to you, what doesn't feel good to you, and deciding that in advance and just really sticking to that and doing the holiday season the way you truly want to do it, that is aligned with your own heart. So I hope that these tips were helpful. While I was in my own thing, I was like, let me share what I'm doing because hopefully it helps somebody out there. And also, if you're looking for a little bit more than what's here, a great place to find it is at NiaZamar.com. If you sign up for the mailing list, you will receive a free, we all love free, ebook, a Ritual 101 ebook that just goes through how to have self-care rituals in your everyday life. And this is great because this is pretty much what I'm talking about here, is how do you in daily life ensure you're continuing to take care of yourself. I focus more so in the ritual book around finding purpose and understanding yourself better, but also on beauty rituals and spirituality and how that comes together in our endowment practices, and just really how to every day of your life live like you are all of the, divine that lives in you, So that's a free ebook. And then if you go into the education section, you will find another ebook that is on just how to forgiving other people and forgiving yourself. And that for me was actually truly inspired by some of the things I have experienced in my own family and close relationships in my life. I created a step-by-step based on some of the things that I experienced that was really helpful. So I hope that it's also helpful to you. So if you're looking for something more and you're wanting to really dive deeper into your self-love journey, that is definitely a place for you to do it. And if you're also just like, I want to be in this conversation more, I really want to stay tuned and I want to be a part of this dialogue, the best way to do that is to hit the subscribe button so that you can just know what is coming up next with NiaZamar, what are the next topics that we're discussing, and just tools that we're sharing. So you can also, hit subscribe, comment, and share some of the things that you do in your own life that is really helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next Sunday. Peace.